Top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the morning. I've been running around YouTube doing my ones and twos. So I was on the brother Freezy page. You know, he graced my page, so I wanted to return the favor. So I was on his page. My apologies, people, that I took so long. Mm-hmm. I'm a hypocrite, right to your face. Damn it, I ain't gonna be like Anton and them. Just gonna tell you. Now look here, man. Hey, look here. He talking about, oh, okay, Kwame, thanks. Nathan. Yeah, man, I'm thinking about getting married too. Fuck it. Everybody else doing it. Let me just monkey see, monkey do. But I'm not gonna do it like this right here. I will promise that I'm not going to do it like this, but we gotta start off with our Negro wedding. I think it's up here somewhere. Yeah, we got to start off with our Negro wedding. With our Negro proposal. Because you justice in the peace. I'm looking for a justice in the peace and give me peace. I'm looking for all that too.
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you now, you know what I'm saying? I love you.
I love you too, baby.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You tell me the truth and everything.
I get you together.
Yeah. You bring me peace.
And the other piece.
Yeah, you understand me, and you know understand me. You give me freedom when I need it. You know understand me. If motherfucker play with you, they're gonna get some justice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now with that being said,
okay. What you got to say?
Will you marry a motherfucker wife or something?
Baby, the shape. What's that?
Well, that's a ring. That's a vice lord ring.
Okay, well, what? Okay, I get it. I'm a vice lord, but I wanted the princess cut. What I'm supposed to do with this?
Ain't no motherfucking princess cut. That shit for kids, man. You so motherfucking ungrateful, man.
I'm grateful.
I am blessing you as motherfucker. I told you. You love me. You understand me? You bring me the truth. Peter, Prince, and the justice.
Okay.
You do all. Look, man, I'm gonna tell
You bring me truth, Peter, Prince, and justice. She said, I want the princess cut. That shit for kids. I gotta have me a goddamn ghetto proposal just like that. Salute to you, bro. Yeah, man. But check this out, man. Hey, listen, man. A lot of hypocrites don't like me. I already know. You know what I mean? A lot of hypocrites, they don't like a brother like me. And I don't like them. It's okay. It's okay. You feel me? Hold on. Where's this one at? I got it up here both times. Let me see. Which one I'm going to get rid of? Let me see something. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this one right here. Bam. That's the part that was on my show. Now, let me show this one. I got so many things stuck up here. Oh, hold on. Let me show y'all something. I noticed this on Cory and O'Shea Jackson page.
My focus right now.
I was just watching this. And just the shift. Shit was all good just a week ago. It was all good just a week ago. People had their chests out. They were saying it with their chest. And when I was warning and saying, wait a minute, this ain't going to end well. This ain't that smart. Motherfucker wasn't listening. So O'Shea Duke Jackson did a pretty good breakdown of this right here. I want y'all to listen to this.
Is trying to figure out the psychological as far as her having to be removed from some of her competitions because of a lot of different things, including online bullying and psychological damage.
Now, according to Anton Daniels, his daughter is underage. She is an athlete. I do know that about her, that she's already applying to colleges and things like that. And so what happened was when Cory Holcomb displayed her on his show, the daughter obviously found out about it. and was obviously hurt about it, according to Anton Daniels. I don't think he has any reason to lie about that. And so the daughter was breaking down. The daughter probably doesn't even know anything about like what's going on in the black sector YouTube. She's just living her life. And the mom has to go and rescue the daughter. And obviously the mom, Anton Daniels' wife, was talked about very, very badly. And now he's, kind of in this mix, and he understands that the beef has gotten out of hand.
That happens in their lives when other people go after children. I thought that children was off limits, but I guess not. So my number one concern, and I'm gonna say this, and again, this is for all of the civil.
Kids was off limits, huh? Kids are off limits. Keep that in mind. Kids are off limits. Now, this is Freezy's original content. So we got what Cory said to Anton, and we're gonna have what Anton said about other people's kids. And we're not gonna give either one of them a pass because it's wrong. But we all know what Cory's capable of, and we just heard Anton say, no kids, no women. No kids, especially.
Of course, we know the ongoing beef between Anton Daniels and Cory Holcomb. And to be honest with you, the only reason why it's been ongoing is because of Anton Daniels. Because we've witnessed Anton go on an extremely disrespectful world tour since last week, 5150 show. Now, Cory Holcomb has remained quiet this whole time. And I was hoping that Cory Holcomb didn't say anything about Anton Daniels, and he just went on and did his show, his normal show. That's what I was hoping. But of course, Cory Holcomb was in classic Cory Holcomb fashion. I mean, Cory Holcomb took it to DEFCON 5, talking about Anton Daniels' wife and daughter, which, no, I do not approve of that before we go any further. But I know what a lot of y'all thinking. Oh, poor Anton. He shouldn't have talked about his wife and daughter. Well, guess what? I'm going to quickly remind y'all, what you dish out will definitely come back to you. You will reap what you sow. What do you mean, Freezy? Well, first, let's revisit what Cory Holcomb actually said about Anton's wife and daughter. I will not be showing the actual visual. I'll only be showing the audio out of respect.
He got the clip with his wife. Play the clip with that mark ass nigga wife. By the way, if I get under your skin, you know where I'm at, homie. You know where I'm at. The clip with his wife. This is the funniest shit.
Oh, wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with. Anton's very emotional. He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's hit before. I've seen him angry before.
So this is Cory Holcomb and the 5150 show showing Anton's wife on a pre-existing video in response to Anton Daniels' disrespect that he's been dishing out for a whole week since the last 5150 show.
He's just like a totally different person. When he's angry, he's blacked out.
And nope, it didn't stop there. Cory Holcomb and the 5150 show not only showed Anton Daniels' wife, but like I said before, they showed his daughter as well.
That's his daughter. This man said he ain't got no children out of wedlock. Nigga.
That's Kumo's daughter.
That's who?
Not Kumo daughter.
That's the air up there, nigga. Look, nigga, let me tell you something. Don't make no more kids, nigga. That bitch gonna be buying pussy like you after a while. If you don't know, nigga, don't ever brag on no motherfucking what you ain't got. Don't nobody want no kids with you, nigga. Don't nobody want no kids with you. Your prime years, you was a scammer, nigga. You was doing scams.
Now, I know what y'all saying. Cory Holcomb and the 5150 show should be ashamed of themselves, talking about people's wives and daughters and stuff. But is Anton innocent of the same behavior? Well, let me refresh y'all memory. Anton Daniels has expressed his disdain for Hebrew Israelites. And not too long ago, he himself expressed an enormous amount of disrespect for their wives and their kids. Anton, you will reap what you sow. Nobody's above reproach, and everyone can be taught.
Y'all was over there making it difficult, burning incense and sage, and y'all was over there putting smoke in the air, and y'all had y'all fucking fringes on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty, on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty, on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty, on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and
But it's no kids. It's no kids, no kids, no talking about kids. Let's all ring the bell of no talking about kids. Let's all turn into white Karens when it's our kid. Let's pretend like he didn't say that. And there's no comparison because he didn't show the picture. But he also said it was no talking about kids. If it's no kids, it's no kids. If it's no kids, it's no kids. Now, let's piggyback that to this is why I know this whole thing was a setup with Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb, right after this situation, is now on TMZ. Corey Holcomb is now being alleged that something happened in 2024 with him and a woman. And it's alleged that Corey Holcomb punched a woman in the face. I'm not going to play it off TMZ, but I'll play it off this young lady's channel. And I will still put an overlay up because I just want audio only. I don't want nothing off TMZ. But Corey Holcomb, this explains why Corey was hesitant and didn't look like his normal talking points. Probably because he had this hanging over his head, where there's an alleged video out there where he hit a woman in the face. So let me play this video, and I think it's over for Corey in an aspect of back-to-back negative press like this. People already going to go after him for putting up a man's child. Now they're going to go after him. You got to understand, Corey Holcomb talks a lot against backdoorian and all kind of stuff. And there's a lot of people who are undercover that don't want to be outed. And Corey Holcomb has been close enough to the fire, been able to see things that are going on. So it would be beneficial for them to get a guy like Corey Holcomb off of air. But if he's helping them out by having altercations with women, then that's never going to be good. So let's see what the video is alleging.
Back with a quick video. Welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. You guys know how this social media machine works. Corey Holcomb is trending now. I just did a video about him taunting Anton Daniels' underage daughter. So, people online are debating about whether or not he crossed the line and our children off limits. Well, now, since he's maybe in a bit of hot water because Anton Daniels is hinting that he may be suing Corey Holcomb, TMZ just dropped an article and video alleging that Corey Holcomb punched a female comedian. So FYI, this is not a recent incident, but child, they bringing it back up. Did Corey piss the elites off? Let's get into this mess. And before we do, let's say this is all allegedly. Title says, Corey Holcomb, no punchline, all punch to female comic's face. There's nothing funny about what comedian Corey Holcomb appears to do in this video. Socking a woman right in the face, igniting a Hollywood street brawl. The surveillance video allegedly shows Corey and female comic Christina Payne jawing at each other outside the Hollywood Improv as a large group of people watched. And then suddenly he unloads a right jab to her face. TMZ broke the story when this all went down in December 2024. Law enforcement sources told us Corey had punched her over a months-long feud between the comedians. This video, obtained by the Beezy Room, plays out exactly as the incident was described to us. Immediately after Corey punches Christina, a bunch of guys jumped him, slammed him to the ground, and apparently beat him until he was able to escape. Christina filed a battery report with LAPD, but Corey was never arrested. In fact, 2 months later, he attempted, but failed, to get a temporary restraining order against her, claiming Christina put hands on him first while his back was turned to her. Corey claimed she also trash-talked him, saying, "Your mama's a bitch, and you're just ain't some meat." He clearly knew this video existed because in court docs, he accused Christina of giving TMZ the clip that only showed his aggression and not hers. We never published or even received any such video. We've reached out to him to see if his story's changed. No word back yet. No, I said this was all alleged about this video where I think Corey was talking about this incident, so I think something did happen.
So the bitch steady yelling, "Fuck you, die nigga, yo, you should have died on that scooter," all that shit like this. So I muffed the bitch. I walked up to the bitch, "Bitch, shut the fuck up." That's what we call it in Chicago when you push a bitch in the head. I muffed the bitch. Look, if I go to jail, because that's an assault. I found out if you do this to somebody, that's an assault. If I go to jail for assault, I ain't scared to go to jail for assault. I don't have it. It was like, "Oh, you don't want this tape to come out." Give a fuck about no tape, nigga. Nigga, I'm gonna show the tape for y'all show the tape. I got.
So damn, Corey Holcomb is saying, "I muffed the beat, nigga." He's saying that he hit the woman. So I don't know what does muff mean? Is that like mush? Is that like mushing a woman? Well, he owned this a while back then, and that's what it looked like. So he mushed the woman. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Hear what he say.
shut the fuck up. That's what we call in Chicago.
If his story's changed. No word back yet. No, I said this was all alleged about this video where I think Cory was talking about this incident. So I think something did happen.
So the bitch steady yelling, fuck you, die nigga. Yo, you should have died on that scooter, all that shit like this. So I muffed the bitch. I walked up to the bitch, shut the fuck up. That's what we call in Chicago when you push a bitch in the head. I muffed the bitch. Look, if I go to jail, because that's an assault. I found out if you do this to somebody, that's an assault. If I go to jail for assault, I ain't scared to go to jail for assault. I don't have it. It was like, oh, you don't want this tape to come out. Give a fuck about no tape, nigga. Nigga, I'm gonna show the tape for y'all show the tape. I got the tape. This fake ass lying bitch said I punched her, huh? Well, that tape ain't gonna show that. That tape ain't gonna show I punched her. That tape gonna show I walked up to the bitch and muffed her. They thought I would be scared to say what I did. I'm telling you what I did. And if I'll turn myself in.
There are new developments in a high-profile Dallas murder case.
Well, damn. Cory Holcomb took accountability for it. The Neanderthal took accountability. The man, I'm not saying he's right at all, but he definitely took accountability for what he did. And he's willing to pay the price for it. He said that he turned himself in. So, I mean, Anton thinks Christian, but does the devil work?
Awesome Black people out there and people in the United States of America that want to ensure that their children are protected. My number one goal is to always try to figure out how I can protect my underage child.
He's also talking about it here.
That's all I've been authorized to say. Had a couple emergency phone calls. The only thing that I can say at this point is that I can't say anything else about it. First, I need to go and make sure that my daughter is okay. And so it's a lot of tests. I'm not sure if she got to get pulled out of school for the rest of the year. This may affect her in that way. So I have to make sure that she's okay.
So he's trying to move forward. He's also saying that the kids are off limit. His heart is broken about this. And typically when you get into it with people on YouTube, typically kids or family members are off limits. I got into a beef in 2021 with a Saint in the Center where I quickly found out.
This is a shame, y'all. This is the Christian man. And again, I've said it before. Every kid is going to get bullied. There is nobody out there I don't care who you are and what you do, you're not going to be able to get around what other kids and other people say and do. But this situation could have been avoided. But even if now that it's happened, this is the time for my daughter to lean more into her Christian faith. How can you do all this talking and then when it's time to show and prove who you really are in times like this, there is no show and improve? Now, I've already trained my kids that's been around me. Like I have other kids that Anton been talking about outside of wedlock, but my kids outside of wedlock is strong enough not to give a fuck about what you think. They don't give a damn about what you think because I trained them in that way. You can't go forward stopping to worry about what everybody thinks.
That, you can get into one of these things where, your family is not off limits. Now, it is true. I started to beef with the Saint in the Center, but it was never harsh. But I quickly found out that, yes, your family can be drugged into it. And it's not fun when your mom is calling, your dad is calling, the video goes up and everybody in your community is calling and saying, yo, what's going on? Who is this dude? And it will make you rethink about engaging in beefs again, right? Because the right person will take it there. And I found that out right here on YouTube. I've been in many beefs before where I've gotten doxxed, but that one was, it hit a little bit different. And that's because, my mom called and she was like, well, what's going on? Somebody's calling me about this guy talking about you. And so once it gets there, that's when it's like real life. All right. It's okay if somebody talks about you and all that. But once somebody comes in, and in my case, it was some allegations about me that wasn't true. Well, I thought that this beef shouldn't be like that. Kids and family members should be off limits. And that's typically true when you're dealing with somebody that's playing the same rules as you. Woo! You're not dealing with somebody who's playing the same rules as you. You're dealing with somebody, obviously, who feels like they were disrespected. You forced it to go there. Whether you feel or not that that's true is left to be seen. Again, I didn't feel that Anton Daniels' wife or his daughter deserved this at all. But the reality is that Anton Daniels himself has spoken typically before, right? Like on his own.
Nobody deserves anything, but at the end of the day, if you're a good steward of your wife and your children, you try not to bring them into unnecessary things with people. Will people do certain shit unprovoked? Yes, it's happened to me. It's happening to me all over YouTube. People put my kids up. I didn't put their kids up. But then when you put my daughter up, I'm going to put yours up. without even showing her. I said, I'm going to put your daughter up doing all this because I don't believe in allowing somebody to do something to me that I am not going to do to them. That's a part of my protection. You know not to fuck with me because there's nowhere I'm not going to go with you if you fuck with me and mine. That is also a part of protection. And that's why they don't like Trump. Trump is, you got them back in the day, they said you could run into a church or run into a mosque or run somewhere after you being a threat to the United States of America, and we couldn't do nothing to you once you ran into those buildings. Now you can run into a school, you can run into wherever you want to run into, and we gonna level the building. And you know what that's gonna do? That's gonna place the responsibility of the people that's in the building to say you can't come here because we don't want to be involved in your BS. So you can't come inside this building. We're gonna lock these doors and we're gonna make sure you don't have no refuge or safe haven here because we don't want them bombs dropped on us. And that's what ends up happening. When you come out here trying to match people energy, fucking with people, then this is what's gonna happen. Am I saying it's right? Am I saying I agree? No. But this is what's gonna happen, especially when you poking the bear.
On podcast to some women about their kids. Well, listen.
That's what they was at.
That's the word of the day.
I think you need some therapy.
You wanna know what?
I need therapy.
I feel like it's the age group, like you said.
Hey, can we get a one in the
If
chat
it's
if you
like
say kids?
We don't gotta talk about
let
it.
me tell you something.
The only person let's get off that topic.
The only
Yeah, I
person
wanna
that
go back.
believe
I
your
wanna go back.
kids. Let me tell you something. When people post their kids online, you the only person that think that your kid is awesome.
Oh my God.
Now, again, I want to basically say something about Anton here. He's not really saying F them kids like that. You know, he's not talking about anybody's kids in particular. He's just saying that, listen, you know, nobody really cares about the kids. And actually, he goes into more detail here.
Oh my God.
This is real talk. Let me give y'all a reality check, right? When you post your kids online, nobody gives a about your kids but you. Like there may be people that like your post, but we don't give a about your kids.
Woo! When people are scrolling on Facebook, they're not really concerned about them kids because those kids are only important to you. The issue is that Anton is not being as blatant as Cory Holcomb was with him. He's just trying to prove a point. Only people who really care about those kids are you. And now Anton Daniels is going to have to use that same framework because when it comes to his daughter and his situation with Cory Holcomb was not willing to give his daughter the benefit of the doubt because using Anton Daniels' framework, your daughter's only important to you because you raised her, you had her to somebody else. It wasn't that serious. And this is the situation in which Anton Daniels decided it was enough.
Cory, he won. Cory and Craig, you win. You win, I give up. I have to figure out what collateral damage happened after that. You guys win. I got to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Family is in shambles. Daughter is in shambles. Literally having my wife take her over to get evaluated and figure it out because crying inside of the principal's office trying to figure out what to do.
So he's saying, Craig, like, listen, Cory, you guys won. I got to pick up the pieces. My daughter is in shambles. I believe it, man. My heart goes out, you know, to all the brothers in this, man. Like, I love Cory Holcomb's 5150 show. I had a relationship in which, you know, I saw Anton Daniels coming up. I saw him pass me up. I'm saw, you know, him doing some great things for himself after trying YouTube and finally being successful. I've talked to his wife before. I'm really proud of his daughter and what she's doing. That what I know about her. And, you know, like I said, I was going to go to Detroit one day, hang out with them and everything like that. Like, I'm really, really, you know, happy that him and his wife still together and all that, despite the problem. However, here's what we're going to have to understand. And while I'm so hurt, like really, about what happened and how he must feel, we as content creators got to understand when we get into beefs with people, we put our family at risk. Okay. Especially when people look at us for not being human. Let me explain what I'm saying. When you give harsh takes on the internet and your harsh commentary, for most content creators, it's just a story. We see something happen, we react to it, we don't know them, and we are not emotionally tied to the person in the story. Whether something happens to them, they get killed, it's their fault, but we fail to connect that somebody loves them or some.
That's a fact. Somebody love them. Somebody loves you, baby. Somebody love these people. And that's where Tammy and a lot of these content creators went wrong because they'll call them the B word, disrespect them all the way out and go stupid. And, you know, people don't take too kindly to that. And if you're going to talk about other people, you got to be able to be talked about. Anton said he was playing chess. He was playing the Sioux. That's why Cory didn't mess with him. But you got to learn to keep your hands off people and don't even think about putting your hands on people because that's what they're going to do.
somebody is connected to that story. And we just give an opinion and move on. And so because we're so nonchalant about it, there's no emotion to it. And somebody like Anton Daniels, he reacts to videos, hundreds of videos every month, and you're just giving a oblique observation, non-emotional observation, you know, pretty much ridiculing people, going after the black community. So what happens is people look at you as a person who don't give a right? You don't care about nobody else. You know, you don't have no sympathy or no love for anybody. Obviously, this is not true. Anton Daniels got responsibilities. He got people he loved, just like Cory Holcomb. I mean, he's also a harsh critic. You know, he got people he loved, got people he cared about, he got people he's doing things for. But the problem is that when you come across like that, people don't look at you as a person anymore. They look at you as a person that is, you know, just a piece of shit. So what they start to do is they start to internalize you and everything about you as being evil. So it makes it, like I said, when somebody wants to come after you, they don't feel bad about talking about you in a negative way. Because once you start to say hateful things about the black community, or people think you're biased towards the white community or white conservatives, then anything associated with you should also be roasted up. Some people don't have a filter to say, wait, hold on 1 second. This is his daughter, or this is his wife. We shouldn't go there. Okay. Now, in the case,
This is a fair, unbiased take. He's saying, hey, even though it's not fair, you as a content creator, when you're talking about other people, you go and bring your family at risk, and especially if you've talked about other people's family. So this is a fair, unbiased take.
to him and Cory, I think Cory was wrong for talking about his daughter. But I will say that he definitely, Anton Daniels didn't help his case either, because what Anton Daniels was doing was aggravating Cory. Again, after the show was over, it was some animosity between the two of them. And then what Anton Daniels did was try to milk it. He basically tried to continue a fight with, number one, a legendary comedian, a person who don't have nothing to lose, and then a person that can come in and talk about anybody and hide it under the fact that it's comedy.
A person who has nothing to lose. This is exactly what I was saying. This is a person that's not trying to live up on some pedestal of being this non-Neanderthal. He can be a Neanderthal and still make money. Even if you want to call Cory Holcomb a Neanderthal, when Cory Holcomb go on stage, Cory Holcomb is still going to get his show money with everybody calling him a Neanderthal and him putting your daughter up. That is not going to stop people from going to Cory Holcomb's show. You, on the other hand, a person that's saying that they're a Christian first, saying that they're a married man, but you moving around here reckless, trying to fight people outside, and then calling people Neanderthals, and they sucking the D of the black community. That's going to make a spotlight go on to you and your family like no other. You being a conservative alone brings a spotlight to your family, but you're going to give them an opportunity to punch on you? You're going to give them an opportunity to talk about your family? If they wasn't talking about your family already, you should have kept them not talking about your family. Because it wasn't smart at all to pick a fight and then say it like you were saying it. Oh, Cory Holcomb is broke. Like you tearing at the fabric of a grown man. You said he sucked D. You said you would beat him up. You said he was broke. You said these niggas don't be living right. I seen them behind the scenes. Like, both of y'all was talking about behind the scenes stuff. I'm not coming over your house and talking about what I see behind the scene. But yeah, he went around to where Cory Holcomb make his money at, and basically like, yo, I punked your king. Y'all thought this nigga was like that. Y'all thought he was tough. He's a punk. I punked him. I went and bullied him where he was at. When you giving off that type of energy, ain't nobody feeling sympathy for you after the bully show you why people don't mess with him. People don't play with you when you going at them like that. You could take money out of Cory's mouth acting like this. And you don't think he gonna come at you in a certain way? It makes no sense. And then for somebody to say he won against Cory, no, this is retribution. This is his chicken coming home to roost for how he talked shit about Kenyon Martin. How he talked shit about Kenyon Martin for no apparent reason was atrocious. Unprovoked, talking down to another man, talking about his speech impediment. What about that? You could sit up here and talk about people that may or may not have a speech impediment, but that's cool. That's some grown-up adult Christian shit there. But when somebody show you disrespect, now it's a problem. You want to run around insulting everybody as if consequences ain't real. And even though you got money, that's just stupid to say. I don't want to spend $500,000 million a year on armed security guards. I don't want to do that.
That's what they can do. So now you're dealing with somebody who don't care you're beefing with, and you don't have the moxie to deal with somebody that's a Chicago stomped down gangster ass comedian that don't have no filter and will destroy anything in his path. None of us as content creators are ready to deal with somebody like, for the most part, Cory Holcomb, somebody that could just play dirty. I mean, some people can, but not if you're a person that has like a wife, a daughter, and they can get a hold of it. Of course, you're gonna use it, and then he can hide it underneath the guise of comedy. Attack your wife. As a man that have these things, and if it hurts you, it bothers you, it might not bother you, but if it bothers your daughter breaks down crying, she has a nervous breakdown, and then your wife is looking at you like, see, because of what you're doing online, you have hurt my daughter. My daughter is innocent, but because of you did it. And as a man, you got to stand on that. And, this is what the case is. So when your daughter is being hurt, then Anton has to look at himself in the mirror and say, what's going on with my daughter right now? I added to this. I'm part of the issue, or I'm all of the issue, however he wants to look at it. And it's unfortunate. And as content creators, we roll this dice every day with every upload that we make. And then sometimes when I give a take that's too harsh, I give a take that is, what I would say too ostracizing to somebody, I got to record the video because we got to start thinking about what the other person is. Who is that person's family? Who loved them? Because I'm going to tell you like this, Anton Daniels for certain while has chased being too polarizing. I've seen other folks do that. Tommy Sotomayor. And then when you're too polarizing, all somebody's going to do is come back and be too polarizing towards you. So you're going to get somebody who's more polarizing. Like none of us can get in the same frame as Cory Holcomb. He's a comedian. He don't care. He will take it there. There's no way you can compete with a person like that. There's no way if it go down, you.
And that's what people should understand. They think it's soft to turn something down. If Cory Holcomb wanted to joke on me from an internet standpoint, I'm not fucking with him. I'm not doing it. As a man, I might say what I'm going to say. Look here, brother, I think you were wrong, this and that. But if he get to roasting and joking back, man, you got that. That'll be like him trying to come play me in basketball. It's going to go bad for him. Just like it'll go bad for me. I can't come in there with barbershop jokes, living room jokes against Cory Holcomb, a motherfucker that can make a whole crowd laugh. I've never enjoyed the pleasure of making a whole room of people laugh live in color. He does it everywhere he goes. So I'm going to stay in my motherfucking lane. But a lot of you men don't know how to stay in y'all lane. You think just because it's you, I'm going to say something back. I'm not going to let you disrespect me. What about when he punch you in the face? Are you going to punch him back because you ain't going to let him disrespect you? Oh, I'm going to have security. I got armed security guard with me. Okay, do you got armed security for your wife? Do you got armed security for your son? Because somebody, or your daughter? Because somebody told you that women and children are supposed to be off limits. But what about when they're not? What are you prepared to do then? That don't make sense. You're supposed to leave well enough alone. If you get into the bag, you want to be quiet. You want to, Jay-Z ain't out here fucking with people no more. Jay-Z out here quiet, just getting that money. You getting that money, you want to chill out. You want to relax. You don't go and start challenging people and telling them what you can pay for. You're going to spend all your goddamn money trying to protect your family, all because you talking too much stupid shit to people. You don't want to show common, decent respect to people.
You can't go toe-to-toe with somebody like that because you can't really talk about him in a way that will roast him or make him feel bad because he just don't care. But if you have a daughter, you have a wife, and he's going to come and hit you there, and that hurts. But again, this is what happened.
Just imagine me, right? All of my peers was in college, right? Most of my peers, I went on to be the #1 draft pick, so you can see me making $3 million a year with it going up every year, like 3.2, 3.5. So I'm making around $3.3 million a year. So I'm making more than they daddy. And all of my peers are in college and things like that, struggling, eating ramen noodles. What if I was just coming around them, not being able to fit in, just eating steak and caviar and talking that shit and talking about how broke they is? Do you think they're gonna want to be around me? Do you think they're gonna think I'm a cool person that I just keep talking about how broke everybody else is and how paid I am? Like, no, people gonna be like, get your stupid out of touch ass away from here. And that's why I make sure I'm around people that don't give a fuck about all that. That'll still punch you in the face. It'll keep you grounded. It'll keep you humble. And that's what most people, new money, they don't know how to do. They don't know how to make money and chill the fuck out.
When you're polarizing to everybody on the internet, and now it's your turn. And I feel for Anton. I really feel bad for what happened to him. But I hope that we all as content creators learn a lesson that if being polarizing just to get a YouTube check or to grow in the community is chasing the bag, then the consequence of that is your daughter have a mental breakdown, your mom have a mental breakdown, where the money ain't worth it no more, because there's no amount of money that can stop Anton Daniels from what he's feeling right now. No, there's no amount of money. If your daughter, your wife is upset, there's no amount of money that you can pay that your daughter can stop crying. It's not worth it, man. And as content creators, I see so many dudes chasing checks, trying to chase a fan base, and then it's not worth it when somebody that you love get hurt in between. It's not worth it, man. And I really feel bad that, number one, that all this happened. Again, if it was just a fight and that was it and it was dead, but now all of this, and who knows what else is to come. I'm gonna be honest. Stuff like this, these kind of beefs, is what drives other things to happen. And this is my concern about content creators right now, especially in the Black space. Because now once shit goes too far on either side, it don't have to just end like that. There's been YouTubers getting shot this year, right? There's been YouTubers taking it personal. Like the YouTubing beef is starting to be like rap beef now. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't always the case. And again, it's just not a good look on either side. My heart goes out to him. My heart goes out also to my brother, Cory Holcomb. We just should be on here trying to make a living, trying to get to the bag, entertaining our audiences. And then when this gets drug into real life, it's really bad. I know people gonna think I'm being too emotional, but that's how I feel, man. I just really felt like, to this point, this shouldn't have happened. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again for another episode of.
I think that was a fair, unbiased opinion. I think that was a very fair, unbiased opinion. Now, there's people that are fanned out on both sides. I'm not fanned out on either side. I think both of them could have talked to each other a little better. Cory didn't have to, try to sun him, which I believe for his political views and things of that nature. And I've watched Anton try to match energy of somebody who do this type of shit for a living. So I don't understand why you would try to do this. And somebody who really don't give a damn, And he's on camera just a minute ago. Yeah, I just smushed that bitch. Anton Daniels is not going to ever get on camera and say he put his hands on a woman. Cory Holcomb, the reason why people mess with certain people like Cory Holcomb is because they're going to be honest in every situation. They're going to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to pay for it. Yeah, she provoked me to mush her. That's what we call it where I'm from. I mushed her. He's honest. People can respect honesty, whether you like that person or whether you could do what they did or not. People can say, you know what? I know what I'm going to get from this person. I don't know what I'm going to get from you. But in other news, man, we got to get off this. Corny stuff. Let's get into some real news. How Chicagoans, hey man, y'all fucked up there in Chicago. If the gunplay don't get you, the taxes damn sure gonna get you up there in Chicago. Cause Brandon Johnson ain't playing with now one of you niggers. Y'all are gonna pay for these migrants one way or another. Yeah, Trump don't want to get the money up, so you taxpaying Chicagoans, y'all gonna pay to the tune of $600 million. Here we go.
$1 billion deficit for 2026, and the city's budget director warned that is an optimistic outlook for the future.
I'm standing here tonight with buyer's remorse because I supported Mayor Brandon Johnson. I feel like a fool right now. I feel like a plum fool.
Now NBC5 investigates, which for months has followed the money trail tied to Chicago's migrant mission. Total spending now tops more than $400 million.
Without significant shifts in how we balance our budget, the services that people of Chicago have begun to rely upon, they would certainly be in jeopardy.
So the mayor of Chicago spent $600 million of taxpayer money on illegal migrants. Now that bill has come due and he wants to raise taxes so he can cover his behind. Let's talk about it. All right, so this is the 57th mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Now, I don't have to tell you, Chicago is a Democrat stronghold, and he goes all in on Democrat policies. Like, this guy doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. Now, Brandon Johnson took office during the migrant crisis. Now, for those of you with short memories, when Biden was president, he opened up the borders during policies. Like, this guy doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. Now, Brandon Johnson took office during
God, dog, look at all them people in there laying on the floor and stuff. That's crazy. Now, mind you, Obama was the deporter in chief, and wasn't nobody mad. That's why I tell you, I told y'all when I first got my YouTube page that most people don't have a pure thought on their own. They always get their marching orders from the news and mostly the Democrat Party, because you only get mad at people when they tell you to be mad. Because Obama deported all of these people. Obama had ICE snatching motherfuckers up, slinging their ass across the border faster than you could say "ha chew," and it wasn't no riots in the streets. It wasn't nobody questioning Obama at all. Yes, this is the original content is on Nate the Lawyer. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. But nobody was questioning Obama at all. But now at every turn of the corner, because they don't like Trump, they'll say something about the same thing that Obama used to do. That's why I know it's all about who we like. And when you challenge people on this stuff, Roland Martin and the rest of these guys that do the most shouting, they don't have anything to say on this because it's all about who we like. It's horrible. And I just can't be that much of a hypocrite. If you did not complain when someone else did it and did it in a worse way, then do not complain now, because the shit is sickening.
the migrant crisis. Now, for those of you with short memories, when Biden was president, he opened up the borders, allowing millions of people to cross the borders illegally.
Tonight, nearly 10,000 migrants a day. That is what federal officials say they are encountering at the U.S. southern border on average in December. That's among the highest numbers ever recorded. And with multiple border entry points remaining closed as the surge at the southern border escalates, U.S. officials now warning that the situation is nearing a, quote, breaking point.
3 years ago, 689 Chinese migrants crossed the southern border. Last year, that number soared to over 37,000, part of an explosion of migrants coming here from all over the globe.
Now, even though all of that was happening, Brandon Johnson was all in for the migrants.
Now, I don't know about y'all. Now, what that tells me is if everybody running to get to America, what that tells me is it might be some problems here in America, but there's something going on. The reason why so many people want to be here. If some people didn't make it, they're taking journeys that could potentially unalive them. They're walking across deserts and walking and swimming through oceans to get to America. Why do you think that is? And you think I'm going to leave this motherfucker? Man, please.
We know the strength of a city is determined by how we treat the most vulnerable. And so we choose to be a strong city. We must reject a zero-sum formulation between investing in those who have been here for decades and supporting those who have been sit here on a bus even this morning. We can do both, Chicago, and we can all thrive together.
How you gonna say it's a sanctuary city and then complain when you get a busload of the people that you said that you willing to accept? Come on, dog. Even though we got a busload of them this morning, you should have been saying thank you. We welcome them all. Now I know we all are nice people, but I want y'all to try this experiment at home. Don't try it for real, but just think about this in theory. You open up your door to one homeless person and you got enough room. That person does not mess up the natural ebb and flow of your house. You let in two. Okay, now you start to notice, goddamn, the milk ain't never in the refrigerator. Shit, your watch might be gone. And maybe they don't steal. But let's just say less resources are there because another mouth is eating. Then two of them call two more. So now you got 6 people in your house. Now you starting to run out of resources because you ain't used to feeding this many people. And that's what's happening in America. You can't just keep allowing. There can't be an infinite number of people that just come through your border, because how are you going to be able to take care of these people, especially if they're coming to get resources from a tax base that's already stressed enough? So what you're essentially saying is, come on across the border. And there's nothing to help build us Americans, even though we're paying into a tax base. But we're going to build other people that's coming across our border. We're going to have it to where they can steal millions of dollars from the federal government. And we're going to have Army veterans sitting on the side of the road. We're going to have homelessness in America at the rate that it's at while we're trying to help other people that's homeless. How does that make sense? If we got the money to give it to other people, why don't we help our people first?
Now, what it's referring to is that the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, started shipping migrants to sanctuary cities, places that said they wanted more migrants. And Chicago was one of those places.
Local officials whose communities are being overwhelmed by hordes of illegal immigrants who are being dropped off by the Biden administration. Texas is providing charter buses to send these illegal immigrants who have been dropped off by the Biden administration to Washington, D.C. We are sending them to the United States Capitol, where the Biden administration will be able to more immediately address the needs of the people that they are allowing to come across our border.
Now, the same message was coming from other liberal states like New York, where the governor essentially begged migrants to come to New York.
We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you. And the richness of the culture and the diversity and the food and the restaurants that we know are going to be coming because of these efforts are beyond measure. It's an extraordinary part of our story, and it's woven into the story of New York, and it makes us more vibrant.
Now, this virtual signaling was great for politics, and since almost no migrants were coming to New York and Chicago, but were all staying at the southern border, then they could call the Republicans racist, and they could deny that stricter border policy was necessary. There were no consequences. But the governors in those border states came up with a solution. If cities like Chicago and New York wanted illegal immigrants, then let's send them there. This was a win-win. Those cities get the migrants, and they also get the problem that come with those migrants. But now here's the rub. When all those migrants started showing up to these liberal sanctuary cities, all hell broke loose, and they started declaring states of emergency. How are we going to take care of all these people?
This morning, the mayor of Washington, D.C. has requested the help of the National Guard to assist with the buses of migrants arriving to her city.
Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey has declared a state of emergency to address the state's growing migrant crisis. The governor says there are over 20,000 people being temporarily housed across the state.
Our top story, another bus of migrants arrived today in Los Angeles and were taken to St. Anthony's Croatian Church for processing.
Back in New York, the mayor had a stark message this month.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
And increasingly, the migrant crisis is being felt.
And right after he said that, he got a scandal. He took a plane ride that he shouldn't have took. He did this, he did that. Right after Mayor Johnson said, hey, this right here is going to destroy New York City. They said, oh, yeah? There's not one band, one sound with you, hump boy. And we know about you getting them kickbacks that we all get. Because remember, Trump kept it real with you. They said, Trump, you don't pay taxes. Trump didn't say, yes, I do. Stop lying. Trump said, yeah, that don't make me wrong. That make me smart. If you don't like it, change the tax codes. Because I enjoy the same tax codes you and your friends enjoy. That sounded like fucking honesty to me. That sounds like honesty to me. See, honesty don't set you free anymore in the sense that we used to say back in the day. Honesty set you free from your goddamn job, free from your friends and family, free from the motherfuckers you love, because they gonna turn people against you. They gonna turn people against you. How's Atlanta doing? Atlanta cool. The weather looks great. But all of this to stay in power, all of this is to stay in control. All of this is to never have to lose another election, because with allowing all these Somalians to come over across our border and allowing them to siphon off $9 billion from our federal government, from the taxpayers, allowing all of these Mexican illegal immigrants to come over here, and illegal immigrants, period, and putting them on some type of government assistance and giving them voters privileges, voting rights. That's a whole voters block that they just gained overnight. They already got you, Negro, us, Negro. They already got you, because most people don't vote for something. They vote for people to like them. They're voting because this party is allegedly not racist, when they both got races in them. There's not a Republican or a Democrat party that don't have racist people in it. You'll be a fool to think otherwise. There's some good Democrats. There's some horrible Democrats. There's some good Republicans. There's some fucking horrible Republicans. There's some Democrats that'll jump on the back of that 67 pickup truck with a Republican and drag your black ass up the street. That's why I try to tell people, man, look, they got y'all falling in love with people instead of trying to just learn the policies that you're governed by that's going to turn into law. I don't give a damn. Don't tell me about what Trump did, because I know Bill did something too. Don't tell me something about what Trump did. I know Joe Biden did something too. Don't tell me about what this person did. I know this person did something too. Tell me the policy that they putting forward that's going to turn into law, that white folks will pull a gun out on me and tell me I can't move under the threat of being shot. That's all I care about. I'm not getting caught up in no motherfucker doing something wrong. God gonna judge him for that. Tell me what's gonna turn into law that'll make white and black people that's in law enforcement pull a gun out on me and tell me I bet not goddamn move. Because that's the only thing I got to live by. I don't give a Jiminy Cricket who they slept with, who they did this with, who they did that with. You ain't going to be able to prove it. It ain't going to do nothing but make you have talking points that's going to get you nowhere. Tell me the policy that I'm going to be governed by, that them boys in blue, that's going to make white and black men that put on a badge, pull a firearm out on me on the threat of being unalived or arrested. That's all I give a fuck about. And anybody else that's thinking about anything else, they full of shit.
Far from the border, including cities like Chicago, where officials say resources are running thin.
Now, it's interesting that the liberals in the sanctuary cities turned this into a racism issue and said if you didn't want to take care of migrants, you were a racist. And Brandon Johnson went all in, spending up to $600 million in taxpayer money taking care of migrants.
The immigration crisis has strained city and state resources. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson defending spending taxpayer dollars on maintaining a welcoming city while being interrogated by the House Oversight Committee.
All Brandon Johnson got to do is misdirect and say, look, Trump a pedo. Trump man bad. And then people will be like, oh, yeah. And he can continue doing the city like this. He can continue bankrupting the city by talking about the person that you don't like. That's amazingly stupid. He bankrolls your city. He bankrupts your city and blame it on Trump, somebody that ain't in your local government. Take your tax dollars, give it away to immigrants, and then it's Trump's fault if he don't give them no more money to give away. It's amazing.
In Washington today.
You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago,
and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
But that service comes with a cost. According to data obtained by the ABC 7i team, since September of 2022, the city has paid out $638.7 million in vendor contracts for new arrivals.
Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
So since 2022,
Come on now, Calvin. Goddamn now, I'm here first now. I know you don't live here in Atlanta now. You gotta let me get mine first now. Goddamn. I gotta start dirty macking on Calvin real quick. I send her an email and tell her you got a old lady or something. I don't know. Well, she don't give a fuck about that. Damn. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out something, Calvin. I got a dirty mac on you.
it's the governor of Texas for shipping individuals to cities across this country. The city's budget, roughly 1% of the city's budget over the course of 4 years.
That 1% comes out to about $625 million over the past 4 years.
So now the mayor of the city of Chicago has spent $600 million on illegal immigrants in Chicago. But that bill has come due, so it has to be paid for. Brandon Johnson said, hey, I'm a Democrat. I know what to do. We're going to raise property taxes. But there was a problem. He had promised all during the campaign that he would not raise property taxes.
It's about budgets because everywhere you've gone, you have failed. Look, I'm not going to raise property taxes. There is no income tax in my plan. He's being dishonest.
I won't raise your.
Okay, I won't raise your property tax. He being dishonest. Man, this black brother looks so professional. I mean, he make Cory Holcomb seem right when he said the comment about glasses. If you think these people that wear glasses are smart, I think you're dumb. That's what he said. I think you're a fucking idiot. He thought we were the dumbest people in the world. And look at it. He wear glasses. He sounds smart, sound nice. Nice talking, brother. Clean cut. Got a black wife. Check all the boxes that make you think you're supposed to like him. I was telling y'all before on my other channel, I said the people they tell y'all to like, you probably should take a second look at them. Because on paper, this young man checked all the boxes. Intelligent, a graduate, a family man, a husband, just a great kind of guy, clean cut brother. He don't even curse. Astute. The lying son bitch. Listen to him. Listen to him. Love the way you lie.
Raise property taxes.
It's about budgets because everywhere you've gone, you have failed. Look, I'm not going to raise property taxes. There is no income tax in my plan. He's being dishonest.
I won't raise your property taxes.
Then candidate for mayor, Brandon Johnson.
The people of Chicago want to know, will you raise a tax, whether it be a property tax or implement something else?
Well, it's interesting. No one has ever asked me if I'm going to raise a tax.
In January, we sat down and asked the mayor multiple times if he'd use a property tax increase to pay for the city's debts. At the time, one of the biggest concerns was paying for the migrant crisis.
So you can commit to not raising property taxes, regardless of how bad the situation gets.
My budget, the $16.77 billion that I just passed, 41 alders, I believe, supported this budget. And we did all of that without raising property taxes. The evidence is in what I passed. We made all of these investments without raising property taxes.
All right, before we get into the rest of the story, let me pay some bills with a message from our sponsor, Plod. All right, you see this? It looks like a pledge. How I didn't miss 10 into clone. Right. In this deposit, you want spec 10 full encryption things, not hard. This week, $600 million on illegal immigrants. Brandon Johnson made a U-turn and said, I gotta raise property taxes by $300 million, essentially forcing the taxpayers to come out of pocket and pay for his generosity toward migrants.
Mayor Brandon Johnson was more than 40 minutes into his speech before he broke the bad news to homeowners across the city.
This budget currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million to fund and keep our commitment to fund not just our pension contributions, but to fund the future of our city. Our commitment currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million to fund and keep our commitment to fund not just our pension contributions, but to fund the future of our city.
How can you ask for $300 million without cursing with a straight face like this? And he tried to say it in a smart, intelligent way, to fund and help our future. That ain't gonna help their future. It's gonna help some migrants' future. It's gonna help some migrants live next door for free, while you telling us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. You taking money from people that's already straining to survive, straining to pay all their bills, plus insurance, and be able to take one vacation. You taking more of their money from the people who seem to have made the American dream. I told you, these people don't give a fuck about the American dream no more. If you come up, they make sure you don't stay up because they're going to tax you more to do the things that they want to do with America and calling it, oh, it's to our future. How in the hell is that to your future? How is that to your future? You got to pay more for your house in Chicago so that they can fund being a sanctuary city and giving people free shit. They finna say Kwame bringing another black man down. I'm bringing a black man down because I'm saying what he's actually saying. He just said there's a $300 million increase. He said it in a nice intellectual way to try to trick you. I'm just telling you into layman's terms, you're paying because this is a sanctuary city. And sanctuary cities involve in giving free shit to immigrants, illegal immigrants. And so that money has to come from somewhere. So everybody's been asking, who's going to pay for this? And now we got a better understanding of who's going to pay for this. So you black folks, you white folks that's pulled yourself up by the bootstraps, you people that's come from the hood, you people that got with a wife and married someone in order to gain wealth, in order to buy that home, your American dream just got chipped away at a little more because your ass helping a migrant. You helping an illegal immigrant. I've been hired as a what? Well, then get your bitch ass up out of here then. If I've been hired as a such and such, what have you been hired to do? Tell everybody? That's what I'm saying. How you know I get hired and who's paying? So at least I can get the goddamn money that y'all say I'm getting. If somebody's paying for this type of honesty, email me. Because all I'm doing is saying what this clown is actually doing. So if they paying for honesty, email me. Shit. Bustlifebiz@.com. Bustlifebiz@gmail.com. I will accept donations if you paying for honesty. This man is saying that it's going to be a $300 million increase on your home, on your property. So that's not me saying anything wrong. So if you paying for me to report on the news, please email me and I will gladly accept. Fuck you talking about, nigga. You done lost your mind. Email me the money and I'll put more content like this out. Hell, send me the news story and I'll put my commentary on top of it. As long as it's the truth, I don't mind. And this is out of the horse's mouth right here.
Brandon Johnson was more than 40 minutes into his speech before he broke the bad news to homeowners across the city.
This budget currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million to fund and keep our commitment to fund not just our pension contributions, but to fund the future of our city.
Okay, you got $300 million on your property tax to fund not just your commitments to the senior citizens or whatever the fuck he said, but to fund the future. To fund the future in layman terms mean you're a sanctuary city, so we got to fund the future of this sanctuary city shit. And it's a shame that you guys keep voting a block because you think another block is racism or racist when the people that you think love you taking your money with love. He taking your money with love. Look here, we got to fund our future. Ain't none of that money going to y'all. How in the hell you funding your future by giving it to the government? That's a damn shame. Was Mayor Johnson a pimp before he came to mayor of Chicago? Because how in the fuck is you funding your future by handing money over to somebody else? My future is going to be funded and controlled by me, and I'm going to keep the money. Because in order for me to control my future, I got to have a little bit of that money. So I don't think me handing over your ass some money is me funding my future. I'm sorry. That's the pimping. They funding the fact that they ain't gonna have to worry about no more elections. As soon as they get all these immigrants coming across this border, this is gonna be a more Marxist society, a more effeminate society where you can't say a damn thing. This is all about control. And we fall in hook, line, and sinker for it instead of saying, close the doors. Close the doors. That's what we should be saying, especially black folks. Close the doors. Letting them goddamn immigrants take the damn trucking job. An immigrant almost ran me off the road the other day. Some bitch don't. I know he got his license from one of you damn Democrats 2 days from the border. Some bitch driving all in the middle lane, cross the line, bobbing and weaving like this motherfucker was in a boxing match in that goddamn box truck. The way he was weaving and bobbing all over the goddamn road. Nah, I'd do something wrong if I pop the tire out that motherfucker or something. I'd be wrong because you using this big ass vehicle like a weapon. I started to act like ICE. Let them hear that goddamn FAMU marching band. But I know I'm black out here. Kwame, you admit you got road rage. I don't have no road rage. I take that shit serious when you playing around texting. A motherfucker almost ran into me doing makeup. Bitch, why is you doing makeup in the car? What the hell is wrong with you? You need to be fired from your job. You out here endangering people doing makeup. You got your whole visor down, putting makeup, drawing on eyelashes and shit, and you still ugly. Trying to fuck my handsome face up. Trees hurt, goddamn. Metal and shit hurt. Get to the parking lot of your job and then put your makeup or mascara or blush on and shit. They be trying to do that shit while driving. What the fuck? I seen a white boy, he trucking, he got his stinking ass foot out the window and he got a book on the steering wheel, reading a book while driving. It's certain shit you just ain't supposed to do. Put your stinking ass foot back in the car, first of all. And then, why do you have a book out while driving? I just don't think it's certain shit you can do, you should be doing. Marching band come with a trumpet. Nah, you supposed to be gone for the trumpet get there.
Now, this was so unpopular in Chicago that the city council unanimously threw it out, and Brandon Johnson had to find another way.
The first breaking news at City Hall. Mayor Brandon Johnson's property tax hike is rejected by City Council.
It is unanimous. Every single alderperson voted it down, the mayor's $300 million property tax proposal. They say they have plenty of ideas. Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson is going to be forced to listen to them.
Then the mayor of Chicago decided, hey, you know what? Let's just take out a payday loan. High interest rate, but we need this money now.
Hey, I like trolls like this, a coward like this, because you'll never come up here and talk to me, you coward. So I like little funny comments like this. Trump couldn't ask for a better buck-dancing house slave like this boy here. MAGA Life Brown. Your people are proud of you. My people, I assume you sound like that country ass punk, but my people. What the hell did you talk about, boy? Trump don't know me and I don't know Trump. And being that I'm always tardy and shit, Trump probably will fire somebody like me. But like I said, you just emotional. I like policy. You keep talking about Trump. I haven't said a damn thing about Trump. I like policy, buddy. Don't get mad at me because you can't understand that they brainwash your dumb ass into liking people. You know what I mean? I like policy. The only person that I don't like their policy that I still come around is Jasmine Crockett. And that's for reasons that I won't discuss. But I don't like her policy, but I still like her. And that's for reasons I won't discuss. But you, I don't like you, Bishop Curry. It sounds like you a man. So I don't give a damn what you think. You know, will goodbye help you in it? If not, you know, keep listening, punk. But if goodbye help you any, then goodbye.
because we got to continue to take care of migrants.
All right, so let's take a closer look at the main issue, the structure of the deal. It's $830 million in borrowed funds for things like construction projects, transportation, building maintenance, but it will cost taxpayers at least $2 billion when all is said and done. Under the original plan, the city would make interest-only payments starting in 2027. But the city wouldn't make any principal payments until 2045. That's 20 years from now, majorly inflating costs.
So the mayor says, hey, we're going to borrow $800 million now. We'll pay back $2 billion. And by the time you have to pay the money back, it'll be 20 years from now. And don't worry, I won't be around. So raising property taxes was rejected. The payday loan to close this budget gap was rejected. They did take a payday loan out, but just for infrastructure. They actually didn't take the one out to close the budget gap. So you still have this budget gap. So Mayor Johnson went to a tried and true argument that Democrats have been using for years. Tax the rich.
The city is grappling with a $1.1 billion budget shortfall, and Mayor Johnson says one of the ways he plans to close that gap is to target the ultra-rich.
It's historically have been balanced on the backs of Black, brown, and working people in Chicago. And it is time as a city that we reject that form of budgeting and then begin to pursue what I believe is more of a righteous budget.
So $300 million in property taxes didn't work. You can't get the payday loan. So we're back to square one with the Democrats in office. Let's just tax the rich.
Debating the 2026 budget. But there's a big sticking point, a tax on the biggest companies in Chicago.
I'm a hard no on the head tax. And I think yesterday's vote indicates that the majority of at least the finance committee feel the same way.
The corporate tax is in this budget. It will stay in this budget.
That was Mayor Brandon Johnson Monday after the finance committee rejected his revenue ideas.
And the mayor drawing the line, he's promised he would veto any budget that has an increase in grocery tax or property tax increase.
Now, the city council in Chicago said the mayor's crazy. He just wants to essentially kill jobs and his budget will destroy the city. So they passed what's known as the alternative budget. Here are the details.
Today's vote came during a rare Saturday session. The alternative $16.6 billion budget proposal championed by a group of aldermen relies heavily on an increase in the city's plastic bag tax, rideshare tax, and liquor sales tax, while adding video gaming and restaurants and advertising to light poles and city vehicles.
We take nothing for granted here. We're proud of the work of this coalition. And as I've stated many, many times, I don't believe that there's one member of council who wants to see a government shutdown.
The budget by the alders also proposes bringing in nearly $90 million from selling some debt owed to the city for unpaid fees and fines, a proposal the mayor and his supporters have called immoral. The administration says the alternate proposal will lead to a projected $163 million deficit in 2026.
Now, in a shocking twist of irony, the mayor was found to have owed thousands and thousands of dollars to the city because for some reason he just decided not to pay for his sewer and water bills.
From 2023, days before the election.
Here's what he owes. Pay for an $1,000 deficit. Information says the alternate fine, nearly $90 million. Light poles and city tax and liquor. Alderman relies heavily on an increase in the city's plastic bag tax, rideshare tax, and liquor sales tax, while adding video gaming and restaurants and advertising to light poles and city vehicles.
We take nothing for granted here. We're proud of the work of this coalition. And as I've stated many, many times, I don't believe that there's one member of council who wants to see a government shutdown.
The budget by the alders also proposes bringing in nearly $90 million from selling some debt owed to the city for unpaid fees and fines.
Boy, it's a time to buy in Chicago. They got 90 million on the books that they about to sell. That means that's 90 million in property. If I'm hearing this correctly, they're about to cash in on anybody who owe anything. Anybody who owe property taxes and all that, they about to cash in on those things so they can flip those properties so they can turn that into some money for that budget. That's crazy. I told y'all, in order for somebody to win, another person has to lose. Don't believe that shit, people? Hold on, let's go back. This is what they said, Nathan.
To light poles and city vehicles.
We take nothing for granted here. We're proud of the work of this coalition. And as I've stated many, many times, I don't believe that there's one member of council who wants to see a government shutdown.
The budget by the alders also proposes bringing in nearly $90 million from selling some debt owed to the city for unpaid fees and fines, a proposal.
They're selling unpaid debt and fees. Oh, it's on. What that mean, whoever got that money finna go to that courthouse steps and they finna rack up. And the aldermen are letting it happen. The aldermen in these cities, they knowing what's about to happen. These people are about to be kicked out of their homes, all because they can't pay a higher fee to take care of these illegals. And that's parking stuff can be placed on your home. If you can't pay for parking fines and things like that, that could be placed on the title of your home. All of these government fees and fines, they ain't going nowhere, Jack. You got to pay that shit, or they take your tag, or they'll do that. They'll figure out a way to get that money. They want their money, and they gonna get it. They're going to get it. They're gonna put liens on property. They're gonna do all kind of shit to get that money. So now you guys voted in the people that's gonna replace you, and now you got to give up your home, because some people ain't gonna be able to afford this stuff. Some people not gonna be able to pay those fines. So those fines turn into liens. So then those liens sometimes turn into foreclosures and forfeitures and judgments. Those liens sometimes turn into judgments. God forbid. You don't want that, Jack. And you guys voted this into your city. And now you're going to be the ones that are raked over the coals because of it. And it's not because of racism. It's because you don't pay attention to the way that you vote. Somebody's telling you about what Trump did in his lifetime and Trump, orange man bad, but they ain't telling you that these rules that turn into law that you're being governed by, you voted in this sanctuary city stuff. So you voted in to pay someone else's tab. You don't want to go to dinner and pay somebody else's tab when somebody else ordered the food, but you're going to make your city a sanctuary city to where essentially you're paying someone else's tab. And then now that the money done ballooned up so high, and you guys agreed to pay someone else's tab, so now they're saying this is how you're going to pay back that tab. We're going to get it through these fines and things that y'all owe, because y'all rejected this, right? Y'all rejected the property taxes going up. Y'all rejected the loan. So, okay, anybody who owe anything, let's start putting fines and liens and shit on their property, and we're going to get this shit one way or the other. Let me pay my parking tickets right now, boy. This is why politics is so important. Yeah, it ain't about who did what and who you like. It's about what is going to turn, what policies that you're going to be governed by that turns into law, because this sanctuary city is law. You guys signed up to pay the tab for somebody else, and you going to pay it. You going to pay, because this is what you voted for. Wait, Mayor can't even pay his own bills. No wonder the rumor is the Bears are thinking of moving to Indiana, right outside of Illinois. Yeah. Because the Bears players are probably pissed the hell off. And that's probably why it's probably hard to get big free agents and big quarterbacks to want to come to Chicago, because you're going to tax the living bejesus out of this guy. So his money is not going to go as far as if he was playing in Tampa Bay, if he was playing in Houston or Dallas. The money getting carved 97 ways to pay for illegal immigrants. So you're going to pay. They want us all to pay. And that's what started making me pay attention. I'm like, damn, everywhere I go, everything I do, it seems like I got to pay for something. I'll make a mistake and I'll pay for parking. I'll make a mistake and stay a second too long on the street. I got to pay a $30 ticket, $25 ticket. If I don't pay this $25 ticket, this shit balloon up. It go to different fines and different liens. And now it's on my credit over this damn ticket I wasn't even thinking about. It just gets you in a trap. Shit crazy, B. I'm gonna get me a vehicle put in a LLC that belong to a PO box and a ghost name. I don't give a fuck how many fines you put on this PO box. They gonna find my ass and lock me up. All right, let's keep going.
the mayor and his supporters have called immoral. The administration says the alternate proposal will lead to a projected $163 million deficit in 2026.
Now, in a shocking twist of irony, the mayor was found to have owed thousands and thousands of dollars to the city because for some reason he just decided not to pay for his sewer and water bills.
From 2023, days before the election.
Here's what he owes: $3,357.04 in unpaid charges and almost 8 months of not paying the city. He finally did pay on February 13th, 2023, but only $91.08. According to Capital Facts, he has a history of not paying his city bills. Since 2010, he racked up more than $6,601 in fines and penalties. On top of that, he still owes $1,044.58 for unpaid traffic tickets dating back to 2014 and 2015. We asked Johnson how he's responding.
We're on a payment plan, like a lot of families in the city of Chicago.
And to that person who might say, hey, if you haven't paid this bill, how can you oversee such a city like Chicago when it comes to billions and millions of dollars?
I've managed multi-billion-dollar budgets as a Cook County commissioner. We pay our car note, we pay our mortgage, we pay for school supplies, and we're on a payment plan.
Now, the budget that was actually passed by the city council needed to be signed by the mayor, but the mayor didn't sign it, nor did he veto it. He just let it go into effect without a signature.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
So you're not signing the budget, you're not vetoing the budget. Why not sign it? You got 98% of what you wanted.
Well, because there are some elements of this budget that, quite frankly, I don't want to give a signal to the people of Chicago that I support what I believe is one of the most detrimental and immoral aspects of this budget.
Now, you need to understand.
What? Wait a minute. So you're going to let it go into play. You just don't want to take the credit or accountability for it, but you're going to let it go into play. You're going to let it, pass just without your signature. What in the... That, my friend, is what's called plausible deniability. See, I didn't sign it. I'm not the actual one responsible for all this shit I'm finna leave y'all with. It's deplorable. I told you. But I let it go.
Signature.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
So you're not signing the budget, you're not vetoing the budget. Why not sign it? You got 98% of what you wanted.
Well, because there are some elements of this budget that, quite frankly, I don't want to give a signal to the people of Chicago that I support what I believe is one of the most detrimental and immoral aspects of this budget.
Now, you need to understand.
And that's Trump's fault. This is Trump's fault. Well, everything he's saying, Trump's fault.
Where we're at right now. Essentially, Chicago raised taxes on the poor. They raised shopping bag taxes and Uber rides, and if you want booze or online gaming, they raised those taxes. And those taxes and Uber rides.
God dang. So they got there and wanted the money from everybody. He got 98% of what he wanted, but the 2%, oh shit, that's immoral. That is some shit I cannot pass. But I got 98% of what I wanted. 98% of the bill is his bill, allegedly. Come on, man. This is crazy. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to get the bag from the rich and the poor and the people that are regular class citizens. If you take an Uber, your ass go pay. If you get a shopping bag, your ass go pay. You drink liquor, and I know you drink that liquor, you're going to pay more. You go to online gambling where it's already a gamble, but what's guaranteed is we going to get our cut. But we eliminated the grocery tax. Got to be more careful. This is why I don't want to hear you tell me about Trump man bad and all this other stupid shit when you robbing me blind right here to my face locally.
Actually, Chicago raised taxes on the poor. They raised shopping bag taxes and Uber rides, and if you want booze or online gaming, they raised those taxes. And those taxes are going to disproportionately affect the poor people. People who are working paycheck to paycheck are going to have to pay more for shopping bags, for instance, where if you're millionaires, you don't have to. And those poor people are paying for Brandon Johnson's $600 million migrants, right? That's what they're covering. And the people of Chicago understand that. That's why Mayor Johnson has some of the worst poll numbers in the history of polls.
Mayor
Brandon Johnson still has time to turn things around before the 2027 election, and this poll is an improvement from an earlier one in which his approval ratings were in the single digits. Nevertheless, political observers say the mayor.
Damn, his approval rating was in the single digits. So I guess we got to be proud of him that he barely, hit a double. Damn, they need Robin Hood in Chicago. he can't like Prince John out of this bitch. Man, this is crazy. This is cray. This is Trump's fault, though. Trump should go in there and send the National Guard to get Brandon Johnson ass up out of Chicago. So because of Trump won't break the law and do that, this is Trump's fault. And if Trump just give him all the money that he won't, then he'll be good. Fuck a budget. Forget how many times he create a budget and he managed all this stuff. If he fuck up, Trump's supposed to just give him the money. So Trump is wrong. Somehow, some way. Trump is racist because he won't give him no money. Trump won't give him no money because he black. It ain't because he bad at what he managing money. It's because he black. And we going to keep putting black people in place so that we could use this same old bullshit. If somebody manage my money this poorly and keep losing $300 or $400, $500, $800 million, and then they want 600 million more, I don't think I'm gonna give them no more money. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a better manager. I'm just saying.
Mayor appears to be in trouble. There is a cloud hanging over City Hall, and it could be called approval ratings. A new poll on the mayor's popularity by the University of Chicago Mansueto Institute for Urban Innovation shows that citywide, only 26% of residents approve of the way Johnson is handling the job of mayor, while 58% disapprove.
I think he misjudged the voter when he thought that he could coast on the promises that he made, that he could coast on his agenda. He has to deliver, and people are expecting that. And so far, the poll shows people are disappointed.
The poll shows Johnson's popularity is underwater with every age and income group. Even though he's made affordable housing a key focus, he is also struggling with voters of every race. Even his political base views him unfavorably by 4 percentage points.
So at the end of the day, it's the people of Chicago who are going to pay for Mayor Johnson's generosity. $600 million to migrants. But the question is, do you think they're going to vote him back in the office because he's running for re-election and he wants to be the mayor for another 4 years? If they do, good luck to them, because he has been a disaster.
I'm standing here tonight with buyer's remorse because I supported Mayor Brandon Johnson. I feel like a fool right now. I feel like a plum fool. But I tell you what, it's okay. Because as I said last night, you can slap us in the face by ignoring us today, but we are punching you in the face by ignoring you at the polling places tomorrow.
Don't forget to like.
Only if there was more sisters like that. But majority of the people that Brandon Johnson represent, they're making money off of this shit. Don't you know how much money Brandon Johnson is making some of the people who are getting the government contracts that's housing the migrants? See, let me explain something to you. I keep trying to tell y'all how this shit works. In order for someone to win, someone has to lose. You citizens of Chicago, you're the ones who has to lose. And Brandon Johnson may get voted in again because the people who got the bag and that's going to pay for his campaign, why wouldn't they? He's getting everything that they want done. Millions of dollars that he's taking in from the federal government, and he's paying out government money on a monthly basis to hotels, to cleaning people, to, you know how many family members and friends of friends that are creating jobs, creating businesses that are getting these government contracts just because it's a sanctuary city. They are creating these things in their city to siphon off money from the government, in my opinion. Because I'm just thinking about how much money that is in government contracts. When you're listening to the money that they're taking in, he's asking for $600 million. That's $600 million Chicago has to spend in the form of government contract. That's everything around migrants. That's feeding them, housing them, clothing them, whoever is bringing them Meals on Wheels, whatever programs that you can think of. If you just create it, you're going to get paid in Chicago. So this is why he gets reelected. They don't give a fuck about you Negroes complaining. Why you think nothing ever nothing ever changes? Because there's so much money involved. Don't nobody care about you complaining. You just ain't in the money. The people that's in the money, they ain't complaining. So you're going to vote the same way because they're going to tell you Orange Man bad and you're not going to want to miss the cookout. So you're going to keep voting the same exact way and you're going to keep dancing and smiling all the way through the whole time. You're going to enjoy getting your ass kicked. You're going to enjoy it. And you're going to call anybody else that don't enjoy getting their ass kicked, you're going to call them a name. You're going to call them a coon because you know they braver than you is. They don't want to be on Zaddy plantation. I had one more video for y'all. This is Anton Daniels. Somebody sent me this video yesterday. This is Anton Daniels talking about Umar Johnson and some black Hebrew Israelites. So this is Anton Daniels speaking on the Hebrew Israelites. And I want to play this under fair use, and I want to play the audio only. So I'm going to put up these channels. And this will be the last video. And then we might get ignorant today after I pack.
And my blessings don't come from the people, it comes from God. And so I'm always going to be obedient to what I'm supposed to do. And you can't even listen long enough to pay attention in order to get what you need in order to be successful. So you challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself to pay attention to the people that you listen. I'm not even telling you don't follow them. I'm not even telling you don't rock with them. I think that there's some people that's incredibly entertaining, and I love to see them crash out, or I love to see their message, or I think that they orate really well, and it's something that I can learn from them fundamentally. Maybe I don't take their advice, but I look at the way that they communicate, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty incredible, right? I can learn anything from anybody. I can learn anything from the devil. Know the Bible back and forth. The devil know the Bible better than you do. There's some of the saints. That's why he's so easily able to beguile you, because he's able to use the information against you that you don't really understand. So I listen to him and I put him on my calendar and I go and check out Derek Jackson. Like, interesting. Look at the devil working. And I look at Umar Johnson, and every day, y'all hair get nappier because you power to the people. You stink more because you want to be natural. Your hairline get more crooked. Your teeth get dirtier. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? Man, listen, I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. I'm just going to keep it real. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? When I drive down the street, right, and I jump in a Porsche, let me stop for a minute. And I jump and I drive down the street. And I put on some of the worst things for me, so I'm always listening to the most ratchet music sometimes. And I either throw on some Larry June or some Peasy, or I might throw on a little bit of Nipsey Hussle. I might even throw on some Dolph. You know what I'm saying? And I'm riding down the street. And I look at these motherfuckers and they got on their fringes, right? They fringes be at the bottom of their dashikis or whatever the hell you call it, that they ordered straight from China or the white man or some cotton mill that they say that they divested from, and they get they all of their little stuff from Amazon, and they do their little iron-on shirts and shit like that. And I see some of their little girlfriends or some of their little chicks that's sitting on the side, that's in their little lawn chairs that they bought from Walmart that ultimately continues to enrich the Walton family that they say that they so much against. And I look at them, right? And they chicks is looking real homely and they dusty and they dirty. You know what I'm saying? And if you walk past some of them and they speak too close to you, they breath be stinking. And I'm telling you, listen, this is my real life experience. Don't you try to discount what my experience is. I know what my experience is. I experienced motherfuckers like y'all over in Miami. Yep, we was over in Miami. I experienced y'all in Detroit. I seen y'all on the corners bothering people, trying to get people's attention when we was trying to.
So that answers the question, how he know how the breath smell. He said, in real life, though, your breath stank. Okay. So I respect that. If he talking about a real life situation, I don't think it's nice to say, and it makes sure I lessen the whole defense of you're talking about somebody else's wife. So if he can give his opinion on his experience with somebody else's wife or girl and say it in this way, then someone can see his wife and say whatever they're gonna say. So I mean, this is the energy that he's putting out.
Continue to put the city on the map so that we can help y'all on this, like y'all over in Miami. Yep, discount be stanking, and I'm telling you, listen, this is my real life experience. Don't you try to discount what my experience is. I know what my experience is. I experienced motherfuckers like y'all over in Miami. Yep, we was over in Miami. I experienced y'all in Detroit. I seen y'all on the corners bothering people, trying to get people's attention when we was trying to continue to put the city on the map so that we can help people understand how the city is transitioning in Detroit from being one of the worst cities in the world to one of the biggest come up stories of ever. Y'all was over there making it difficult, burning incense and sage, and y'all was over there putting smoke in the air, and y'all had y'all fucking fringes on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty, they ain't got no jobs. I be wondering to myself, if y'all are the chosen people and y'all so awesome, how come we don't know y'all by y'all fruit? Why are y'all so dusty? I have never in my entire life, not one time, and maybe I'm just off, educate me, help me to understand. I've never one time in my entire life seen a rich, prosperous, well put together, nicely groomed Hebrew Israelite. Oh, Anton is calling out. Oh, Anton is saying what's really on my mind. I'm just curious. I have never in my entire life. Yes, they do be living off a woman. They woman be the main bread makers. And these dudes be dusty, dirty, nasty. I know some of them personally. And they be out there with their Bibles, preaching, teaching, being false prophets, and having their fringes on, and bothering good working folk that's going to work every single day, trying to take care of business. I be wondering to myself, how are y'all so able to
So them teaching their religion and what they believe in is bothering everybody. God damn. Hey, look. Hey, excuse me for the GD. But he said them teaching their religion, they out there bothering people. Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy work.
recruit so well? How is it possible that y'all can recruit so effectively? What is enticing about seeing a bunch of broke dudes on the street, can't even claim the very houses that they live in? Woman is absolutely under duress. She pregnant and working at the same time. You don't even got a job. And the main thing that they go home to is their PlayStation 5. And I'll be like, how is this possible? How do y'all even have so much time to study? Y'all ain't got no jobs. And if they got a job, they're not really educated. They don't really know how to do anything except for bother people. And they keep blowing smoke in the air. And they got on all of this fake plastic jewelry, and they be trying.
Now listen, I got some Hebrew Israelite dudes that I'm familiar with because some of my friends are familiar with them. And some of these dudes are truck drivers. They got a network of men that drive trucks. So every Hebrew Israelite, I wouldn't say is the same. But I have met some that don't work, that do live off 2 or 3 women. And it's a little bit, it seemed like a little pimping. But I wouldn't say that on the internet. I say that to them. Like I'm not coming up here trying to make it seem like someone's whole religion is like that, because it's not. And that's crazy. I got some Hebrew Israelites dudes I know that they do sit on that goddamn game and talk all crap all day. And I know some that be in that truck all day long. The sad thing is the Israelites teach from the same Bible. And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why you have to get online and diss people and say all this. I just think it's weird.
And if they got a job, they're not really educated. They don't really know how to do anything except for bother people. And they keep blowing smoke in the air. And they got on all of this fake plastic jewelry, and they be trying to look all extra Caesarish and shit like that. And I be like, man, you see that costume jewelry he got on? Don't you know that he got that from Amazon and Shein? He got on the Shein jewelry, the Shein jewelry set. And then I seen one guy, and I guess that was a leader. He had on a WWF belt. It looked just like a WWF belt. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, when you drive by these Hebrew Israelites sometimes, pay attention, look at the context clues. I have a bad habit of looking at the context clues. He had on what looked like a WWF belt, and it was big and gold. And I seen the Ultimate Warrior wearing that same fucking belt. And I said, who did he steal that from? Who made this man a WWE belt? Who? Harpo. Who this nigga? Who is him? Who is him? Where him come from? Harpo? But y'all follow him. And y'all want so hard and so fervently. Oh my God, I gotta pray for my people. I gotta pray fervently for y'all because y'all want to believe so badly in something that you will then align yourself with somebody just based off of shit that they can't even control. You aligning yourself with somebody based off of the color of their skin and a standard that somebody gave to you or whether or not you was 10% black. And that's how y'all decide whether or not y'all gonna rock with somebody. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not they're a good person, whether they stand on anything, what their morals and principles and values are. You just gonna support it just because it say black owned?
And he makes some points in there while insulting and generalizing a whole group of people. So I just think that's the weird part of it because everybody is not like that. We all can do that with every race of people. If I can sit here and talk about white folks, because some white folks are meth heads, some of them, most of them are on welfare, and they're the poorest representation in America of a class of people. Some of them. That's why even white people call them poor white trash. But you don't see people making content every day about the worst of white folks. People always want to make content about the worst of black folks and then say, oh, it's because I'm black. Okay, it's cool. You can still understand that you can say it in a way. Because I've said some things that people in the chat will be like, man, you don't got to say it like that. And I'll be like, sometimes I'll say, okay, you know what? I could say it in a different way. And then at times I'll stand on it. So you got to be open to get off your stance because everybody is not the same. Not every Hebrew Israelite is the same. So he's sprinkling in a little truth, a little things that you can know, or in your real life, you may even know a Hebrew Israelite that have some of the characteristics that he was talking about. But like I'm saying that I know some that are not like that. And so to generalize all of them because of his experience with a few, I just think that's fucked up. You know. Y'all still mad at Anton? Oh no, I ain't mad at him. I have no reason to be mad at him. No. I got no reason to be mad. But listen, it's time for me to pack. I gotta pack up real quick. I'll be back after I pack. And then we'll get into some other content on my main channel because another football player said that LeBron James is on steroids. Said LeBron James is on something called peptides. Now, I don't really know what a peptide is, but I'm going to look it up because I want to be able to look up the formal thing this guy said. And I just want to see if there will be a lawsuit incoming for this guy. Nigga, Joe, I see y'all tomorrow. Shut up, Cortez. I want to know if there's going to be a lawsuit incoming for this guy. And if not, why not? So salute to y'all. I'll be back. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.